safest medium, and it saved us from nuclear war, so we should keep it on because it keeps us off floating and above the old hardware problems. So you are becoming lowest common denominator and becoming inferior in hardware past oriented if you turn it off. He certainly doesn't mean that. So whatever he's saying there doesn't make sense. You know, if I turn off and become lowest common, how is he becoming lowest common denominator by turning it off? You know what I mean?
Well, let's ask him.
Yeah, someday. But that was what I immediately think of what he's saying. But I know I can't quibble with him on that point, and I just to give a general answer. You know what I'm saying? Which confuses people because they say that guy didn't answer his question. You know. But that's inevitable in communication. Much confusion going on.
Media fast. That would be, to me, like catering to this lowest common denominator. So why should I go on a media fast?
The media fast you just referred to, for you, was the content. The media fast refers to the mosaic television tactile mesh screen where the viewer is the screen. The effects of that have been around since the 60s, starting in the 50s. A media fast is understanding how each media phase, the computer, TV, computer, and satellites have disappeared, have no longer an effect on us. And the more we talk about this as content on the media, if we refuse to talk about any agenda, feminism, racism, ageism, sexism, conservatism, anything, if we, whenever we're interviewed in a public situation where the media wants a poll of our opinions, we just say, turn off television. Now, television is an old environment, but if we just do that as a cult form, as a zombie response on the public level, I'm not asking you to turn it off personally. I'm asking you to use it as a content for the news, which is the word that makes the market. We use this ideology of turn off the media as a Chinese water torture to bug the hell out of the news people, which we're all supposedly controlled by and bugged by. And in other words, we consciously take one content idea and ram that back to the media programmers.
Well, this goes on to your definition on the CD of what a subgenius does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like people who laugh. I mean, Porter's a bit of a subgenius because he is picking up the inherent humor of it. You know, he's laughing, who knows at what, but he's laughing, right?
I was laughing then too. That was one of your best points.
I was
Shove
thinking,
it back in the media's face.
Maybe that's what he was laughing at. The point. That's what the idea is.
That was really a good point.
But as I'm listening to that, I'm amazed at how I take that whole complex agenda and cram it into 30 seconds and just fucking name it out step by step. And it's like Zappa says in interviews, you got to get it out fast. You only got a 30-second soundbite. I say the whole thing very concisely, and I must say that concise enough that you guys get the point because you start laughing because you get the absurdity of if we all harass them with just that content, right?
Yeah.
When we're polled. So I'm impressed with myself there. Right? So this whole thing, this whole 10-minute interview is very good. I'm laying up the whole thing, right? Then we play after that with the callers, right?
Hell out of the news people, which we're all supposedly controlled by and bugged by. And in other words, we consciously take one content idea and ram that back to the media programmers.
Well, this goes on to your definition on the CD of what a subgenius does.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take some phone calls. Let's see if I know how to do this, okay? KPFK, you're supposed to be on the air.
Oh, J.R. Bob Dobbs. This is Robert Anton Wilson.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not J.R. Bob Dobbs. That's Reverend Stang's personal tweeze. I met Stang in the late 70s and only met him a few times in Dallas, and his book's an interpretation of me. I'm Bob Dobbs, not J.R. Bob Dobbs.
Well, you have to excuse me. I just am peaking on 2,300 micrograms of
Hey,
acid.
man, you're not Robert Anton Wilson. You called in on his show the other night when he was on Roy of Hollywood, and you imitated and tried to mirror him back.
Well, I had this. I just dropped from the universe next door.
Okay.
Okay, but I just wanted to ask you.
Where are you staying? At Leary's, or where house are you at?
No, I'm.
Warehouse.
Warehouse. I'm so fast. I drop articles. Warehouse you at? You boy. I mean, boy. Did we get that? But what's amazing, he does sound like Wilson. It could be.
He does.
He could be Wilson stoned on acid. He's going to take acid to go to this millennium. He needs acid to get through the day. But he is, just like the other night, he had it down pretty close. I mean, I think later we'll see he loses it. But right there he has a little congested throat tone, right? So it's cute the way he's trying to talk like
Hollywood, and you imitated and tried to mirror him back.
Well, I had this. I just dropped from the universe next door.
Okay.
Okay, but I just wanted to ask you.
Where are you staying? At Leary's, or where house are you at?
No, I'm at the Motel 6.
Okay, so you're going to go to Millennium Madness this afternoon?
Yeah, are you going to be there, Bob?
I think so.
Okay, well,
Because I want to
I'll
help you
be,
accomplish your
love to see
cosmic
Bob.
conspiracy game. I want to do a Menippean satirical twist, which might move it into a more amazing effect than you to produce. You do produce
Okay,
in your
well,
excellent
I'll
encounters.
welcome it.
Now, I I think
Here's the thing.
There's a lot of points where we're talking over each other.
Yeah.
Shall I re-listen to myself later? Because I'll be rewinding for hell.
I'm going in 30 minutes
Yeah,
anyway.
so we'll just let it run. Won't get all things into my own self. I'll do it privately. I want to hear what he said. Once I know what I said, I want to see what he was saying. But we won't do that now, okay?
That's fine. But I like you stopping and reacting is good, because that's what...
Okay, well,
Because I want
I'll
to
be, I'll
help
be,
you
love
accomplish
to
your
see you,
cosmic
Bob.
conspiracy game. I want to do a Manipian satirical twist, which might move it into a more amazing effect than you to produce. You do produce
Okay,
your
well,
wrestling
I'll
encounters.
welcome it.
Now, I think your wrestling encounters are fine, but they need to be updated.
Okay.
You and Tim.
Bob, I wanted to ask you, could you go into an explanation for the KPFK listeners of the Institute of Chaos Studies and the Moore Science Ashram in Ong's Hat, New Jersey?
Oh, no problem. This is William Irwin Thompson is the popularizer of the chaos theory. Ralph Abraham, James Lovelock, Lynn Margulis, and one other person are his mythic stages. Chaos is an attempt to visualize tactility. It can't be visualized. So all the 20th century, from Heisenberg on down, have been trying to visualize the tactile effect of the central nervous system. The central nervous system is an extension of tactility. So chaos is a conceptual, not a perceptual mirror, conceptual rearview mirror image. And the point of Bob's ecology is that there is an order below this, not just a fractal repeating macro mirror image echo, kind of mirror of the situation. It is something that involves us in a dance. So the Institute of Chaos Studies, whatever you just said, has to learn how to dance to tactility, not verbalize or visualize it. So therefore science is obsolete.
Whatever you just said that I
It is
claimed I
something
knew
that involves
about.
us in a dance. So the Institute of Chaos Studies, whatever you just said, has to learn how to dance to tactility, not verbalize or visualize it. So therefore science is obsolete. Art is obsolete. So what are we left with? We're making sense right now. By us talking right now as you respond to me and I respond to you in a kind of interpersonal chaos, that making, which has no matching, we're making sense, is the reverberation when I say the word makes the market. We are making sense. We are making chaos and order at the same time, both and.
Okay.
Right now.
Could I read this little bit out of a pamphlet I got through the mail? It says, through the early to mid-'80s, the commune's fortunes fluctuated.
Yeah, I want to hear what this guy says.
Could you say that again?
Okay.
What'd you say, Carol?
It sounds like there's Bob Dobbs twins.
Yeah, you mean he sounds not like me.
What he's reading about, these two people that come to that institute, are Bob Dobbs' kids.
Oh, that's what he's
Is that
gonna...
what it is? Sounding to you? Cause
No, that's what he
I
said.
thought
That's
so.
what he's going to say, Carolyn.
That's what he's going to say.
But what do yeah, we have to hear it, but what are you telling us something about what
I'm
he's...
telling you what he's going to say.
Which is, what are you telling us?
That they're Bob Dobbs' kids.
Yeah, he claims they're Bob, that's Paul and Avril, or Paul and Shannon?
Yeah.
So what about that? So,
I'm just telling you.
well, he's trying to claim that he's connected to a Bob Dobbs. Yeah, so in that sense, he's saying, I know Bob Dobbs, he's not you, so who are you? Right? So he's claiming he's not only Robert Anton Wilson, but Bob Dobbs related, right?
I don't know, Bob.
Well, what's the point then?
He just got it in the mail. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Oh, there's a synchronicity. He got this Bob Dobbs stuff, and he didn't know Bob Dobbs was going to be on the radio.
Yeah, but you don't know if he's just saying that or what.
That's right. Good point. Okay.
Right now.
Could I read this little bit out of a pamphlet I got through the mail? It says, through the early to mid-'80s, the commune's fortunes fluctuated, sometimes nearly flickering out.
Could you say that again?
Okay, through the early to mid-'80s, the commune's fortunes fluctuated, sometimes nearly flickering out.
Yeah.
Fard self-publicized a series of Xerox visionary recitals in which he attempted a synthesis of heretical and antinomian spirituality, post-situationist politics,
Not bad.
and chaos science.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting to the punchline now. After the crash, a number of destitute Moors and sympathizers began turning up at the ashram seeking refuge. Among them were two young chaos scientists recently fired from Princeton on a charge of seditious nonsense.
Yoo-hoo.
A brother and sister, Frank and Althea Dobbs. The Dobbs twins spent their early childhood on a UFO cult commune in rural Texas founded by their father, a retired insurance salesman who was murdered by rogue disciples during a revival in California.
David Koresh?
That's right, one might say that the siblings had a head start in chaos, and the ashram's modus vivendi suited them admirably. The Pine Barrens have often been called a perfect place for a UFO to land. So I just wanted to make contact with you.
Well, there's many, the images your words evoke resonate with my stages. UFOs, that's the universal stage from 60 to 77. Now, from 77 to 90, when all mythic stages are attempted to be retrieved, that includes the extraterrestrial civilization that's going to make contact with us, and this is one prediction for the 90s. It will be from the Booties. You're hearing this exclusively. The Booty civilization is what is making contact and doing their earlier PR through the crop circles. But that is the universal stage. They're obsolete. That's why they're going to make contact with us. They feel kind of in a state of panic.
Okay, and last thing was, you really have your rap down finely honed. I mean, just as tactful as me or Terrence McKenna.
Right.
But like a lot of the
He
other
said
guys
me,
out
it's
there,
Robert
I
Anton Wilson.
do have the Rise video.
I think that must be Robert Anton Wilson.
One might think that if you didn't hear this guy on the show the other night, this guy who called up and did this to Wilson. He sounds just like Wilson.
Who'd he say was that?
He said he was Robert Anton Wilson. Robert Anton Wilson. And so
Well, what does he say about a rise here? Okay, go ahead.
But he's saying here, he goes me. He says you got it honed down just like me, Robert Anton Wilson and Terrence McKenna, right? He's putting me up there with the biggies, which I'm immediately recognized by the first caller as a contender to all these other guys, right? Through the double.
I'd really like to know who this guy is and sit down with him.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
A lot of them are just...
That's why we got to get the tape of Robert Anton Wilson so you can hear this guy, what he did to Robert Anton Wilson.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Who has it? Rick has it?
No, probably she remembers. I don't know anybody who has it. Rick didn't tape it. He didn't have any tape to do it.
And I asked Ned already. So.
Ned do it?
No. He hates him, so he'd never...
Well, Roy would have done it probably in some way. Maybe you do a little negotiation with Roy.
Like...
What?
We'll see.
Okay, and last thing was, you really have your rap down finely honed. I mean, just as tactful as me or Terrence McKenna.
Right.
But like a lot of the other guys out there, and I do have the Arise video, and a lot of them are just sort of like, they don't got it, Bob. They're sort of geeky. They have sort of like an aura of like the kind of guys who got their ass whipped in the locker room by jocks with towels.
Yeah, you mean the subgeniuses?
Yeah, like a lot of them are just geeks. I mean, why don't they got what you got? They're just, a lot of them are just geeks. They don't have any stage presence. I mean, they can do it in print and material.
Look at this guy. He's saying, he's
immediately
pronouncing me a contender. He says, you got stage presence, right? This guy, the first caller says, Bob, you've arrived. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You're better than Stang, and he's supporting me against Stang.
Yeah, you should have said that to Stang.
Sent this, yeah.
Oh, you're going to?
That's who it is, it's Stang.
No, it's not Stang, but wouldn't that be amazing if that was Robert Anton Wilson?
Or,
Wouldn't that be amazing if that was Robert Anton Wilson who had two characters he played?
Well, I just
he
tried
couldn't
to
have
look up in the phone book for Motel 6. We should try to find Motel 6 and see who's listed there.
There is a Motel 6 brand, isn't there? Is there, Jerry? You ever heard of Motel 6?
yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah, no, he ain't Robert Anton Wilson. I forgot. That was just proven by the fact the guy called in, right? You know what I mean?
Why couldn't it be? He was one of the guys with Robert Anton Wilson.
He might be with him, but he called in on the show when Robert was on Wednesday night,
Which means he could have been at the place where Robert Anton Wilson stayed.
Yeah, he could be a friend of Wilson's, but he come across as an antagonizer, which may be all scripted and planned, but I don't know. But it's amazing this guy was listening to the show. This guy's monitoring all the latest shit, and he was so quick. He says, "Man, you're where it's at. You're better than Stang in there." He says they have no charisma. And what he means, they got no intellectual charisma. They don't have any new insights.
Yeah.
They just got one-note joke.
like a lot of them are just geeks. I mean, why don't they got what you got? They're just, a lot of them are just geeks. They don't have any stage presence. I mean, they can do it in print and material, and they can do it like in graphics and stuff. But as soon as they get up there on the mic, they're pretty lame.
Yeah, well, that's because the real inspiration for that geekdom is Stang, who's a geek himself. I like him personally, but there's no doubt he's a glasses-wearing geek. All right?
Yeah.
So he creates that effect to his personality.
He agrees with me on that.
That's why
Right?
I had nothing to do with the
I say I like Stang. I like him personally.
They're pretty lame.
Yeah, well, that's because the real inspiration for that geekdom is Stang, who's a geek himself. I like him personally, but there's no doubt he's a glasses-wearing geek. All right?
Yeah.
So he creates that effect to his personality. And it's only an interpretation of me. That's why I had nothing to do with the CDs, but I'm glad they're released because it creates a situation where I can get on the air like this and evoke true sub-geniuses like yourself.
That's right, Bob. Okay,
Because we're going to get asshole guys calling today from the
watch your language,
going to
Bob.
tirades like
I didn't even hear him say that.
The pop magazines.
That's
You know
right.
what? You know what?
And
It's
like
funny.
Stang, Dr. Howell and all those guys. I mean,
It's funny. Like I was so busy dealing with him, I blocked out.
Yeah.
I knew I made a mistake there.
Yeah.
And that's where I paused for a second. I go, should I say anything about that? Nah, fuck it. And then carried on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Here's a little pause. But I don't remember hearing him yelling at me.
From the
watch your
going
language,
to
Bob.
tirades like they do, like and evoke true sub-geniuses like yourself.
that's right, Bob. Okay,
Because we're going to get asshole guys calling today from the
watch your language,
going to
Bob.
tirades like they do, like Stang does in the pop magazines.
That's right. And I'm like Stang, Dr. Howell and all those guys. I mean, I'm sorry, but they're geeks, and they don't have what you got.
Yeah, and I would say, to make it real sophisticated, is that verbality is so obsolete that they're very good at verbal raps and verbal visual graphics, but it's so, ancient that it comes off as a nerdy kind of atmosphere.
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
That's
good.
Okay, I'll let you go, and I'll see you today at 2. And
That's right, Robert.
I love talking to you, and I'll do it again soon.
Yeah, we can get in touch anytime
Okay,
through
yeah.
I
Dave.
can tell his voice is not the same as Wilson's. He actually sounds like Marcus or something. He has a little black tone in it. And just the way he is, he sounds a little black there. He's not Wilson just by the way he's talking at the end.
Even kind of atmosphere.
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
That's
good.
Okay, I'll let you go, and I'll see you today at 2. And
That's right, Robert.
I love talking to you, and I'll do it again soon.
Yeah, we can get in touch anytime through
yeah.
Dave and his butlers.
KPFK, you're on the air.
Yeah, I want to know if Bob is going to be at the Millennium Madness event.
Yeah, I'll be there.
You will? Will you be in disguise, or will you be obvious to us?
I'll be obvious.
The sub-genius must have slack, and I now turn you over to the true slack master, the one and only Anti-Bob. Here, take it.
Anti-Bob.
Here they come.
The rubber
I go, here they come. I
a
knew
little
it.
while ago was an
I knew that there was the enemy, I was a Stang, and I just finished saying to the previous guy, they're going to start calling today, and they're going to be pulling their geek shit on us. Remember I say that? And then the guy doesn't, and he said, here comes the anti-Bob, meaning the the pro-Stang Bob,
Right.
anti the real Bob, me, right? And here he comes, Robert Anton. Like, people would think this was all staged. Someone who didn't know what was going to think, oh, Bob knows Wilson, they got this guy on, the first guy who didn't. They'll think we set all this thing up, right? And I go, here they come.
the true slack master, the one and only Anti-Bob. Here, take it.
Here they come.
The Robert Anton Wilson you had on a little while ago was an imposter, an impersonator.
That's right. You've got it down better than he has.
He's actually.
Are you going to stand up for Stang? There's been photographs of you with Stang.
From Haiti.
I confronted you in 1985 at the Toronto Metro Library.
You see, the reason
Bob
I waited,
Marshall,
I waited for a second, but he was going into his monotone drone, which he did on Roy. He's not listening. He's just going, la, 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 doing his rap like a robot, right? So I immediately realized, so I said, okay, I'm going to be an angry guy and just start fucking exposing, you know what I mean? But I listened for the first time. He goes into this monodrone thing, which causes Ned to, I should have cited Ned, or I did cite Ned, but, Ned doesn't like that.
Mechanical.
So Rick didn't like it. He's too
A
drone.
while ago was an imposter, an impersonator.
That's right. You've got it down better than he has.
He's actually.
Are you going to stand up for Stang? There's been photographs of you with Stang.
From Haiti.
I confronted you in 1985 at the Toronto Metro Library.
See, he's saying that
My
guy
colleague
is a
Bob
Haiti.
Marshall, I mentioned.
He's insulting that he said Haiti. These people from Haiti. He knows there's a black tone in that first guy's thing. Note this Haiti thing. He's talking about his imposter.
There's been photographs of you with Stang.
From Haiti.
I confronted you in 1985 at the Toronto Metro Library with my colleague Bob Marshall. I mentioned Mechanical Bride to you.
He stops. I'm just ranting on.
Better than he has.
He's actually.
Are you going to stand up for Stang? There's been photographs of you with Stang.
From Haiti.
I confronted you in 1985 at the Toronto Metro Library with my colleague Bob Marshall. I mentioned Mechanical Bride to you, and you said it was published in 1948. Wrong! Came out in 51. So I knew he didn't have the McClune stuff down, and you and Dr. Tim Leary, and don't forget, Tim Leary just related on a TV panel to Bob Marshall and Nelson Thal. You'll see that broadcast on Kitty Goodman's show But there's the effect of the McLuhan reality coming into you and Tim. So go ahead, sorry.
Wait a minute, I got lost in the middle of all that.
Oh, you remember?
I won that one.
went with
That's
Dobbs.
what Larry did. He goes, wait on there. Like, he comes on trying to rap, and I just
I got lost.
Yeah, I got lost. And he's trying to lose me by doing
And they're
this.
so uncool. They
Yeah,
admit
they
it.
immediately admitted it. Bob won in a knockout in a minute and a half.
Wait a minute, I got lost in the middle of all that.
Oh, you remember being in Toronto in 1985?
What we're doing is the Morning of Madness is a fundraiser for Vlad. That's the Vampire League Against Defamation. We are trying to achieve civil liberties for the differently animated and the hematologically challenged.
Yeah, you mean virtual reality?
No, this is an old Transylvanian.
Yeah, see?
It's funded
He wasn't
from the order.
describing, in a way, he wasn't trying to describe virtual reality, but I wanted to make the totally wrong thing to see what he'd say. You know what I mean? Like, I purposely sent out, in a way, the wrong answer. You know what I mean? Actually, the ground for him trying to retrieve the humanologically challenge was effective. But that's what I was doing.
The hematologically challenged.
Yeah, you mean virtual reality?
No, this is an old Transylvanian. It's descended from the Order of the Crimson Chalice.
Listen, if you read Eric McLuhan's thesis on the 10 thunders of Finnegan's Wake as Menippean satire, it would update your Menippean satire attempt of understanding Finnegan's Wake. You know, Finnegan's Wake is not about the Irish. And you concentrate on the Dublin references, but as Joyce said, you don't have to know anything about Ireland to get into Finnegan's Wake. Anyways, back to your statement. You're operating this program in Band-Aid today when everything's disappeared? How can you use any nouns?
Well, we try to avoid nouns. The differently animated and the hematologically challenged are living in a... I mean, we already have people crusading for the unborn. It's time we had a real crusade for the undead.
Yeah, for the human scale. You want to retrieve the anthropomorphic human scale, which is the general mood expressed on my second CD. I explain the revival of the bodies as we normally know them, created by the first nature. But we have to recognize the effects of the second man-made nature to retrieve the humanological. You represent a Western wisdom generator on a human scale. You're accessible to all ages.
Well, as our founder, Count Dracula, said, hey, hey, ho, ho, hemophobia has to go.
Yeah. Okay, now let's continue.
Agree on something.
Where are you staying? Where are you living right now today?
We've got him secluded in a secret underground chamber.
Yeah, but you're not there right now. You're on the air. You're in Dobbstown, the electric discarnate presence. So you don't
We're
even
over
aware
in
when
the
I ask you
antimatter
questions, you don't
universe
even
where
say
nothing matters.
The percept of where you are right now. You are in my head. I'm in yours.
Well, I guess that's true too.
So, you guys do your homework. I mean, it's fun to have retrievals of communal excitement and hallucination and surrealistic humor, but let's do our homework, then we can really get funny.
Well, this is a secret communique to you, Bob Dobbs, and I hope you take it to heart. There's a plot to neutralize you.
Oh,
and
that's run by
you need to be
that's
careful
run by
tonight.
Tom Touche, my ex-butler. That's why I'm on the air, because those CDs were ripped off from my radio show and put out. I had nothing to do with the CDs. Yeah, I'm aware of Tom.
I got him laughing.
Okay, well,
I'm crazier than them.
Yeah.
Those CDs were ripped off from my radio show and put out. I had nothing to do with the CDs. Yeah, I'm aware of Tom Touche's plot.
okay, well, I'll let somebody else have a crack at you.
Yeah, okay.
Crack at me. Yeah. I'll give up. Can someone else try to hit him?
Call in
I
at
want to go now,
98556.
Bob. So do you want to shut this off and continue, or you want to keep doing it?
Well, I'm going to listen to it now.
Okay.
Well, how far have we got? We got about another half hour or something, eh? What's it exactly now?
No, we're only into 20 minutes.
Yeah. So, you got to go.
Yeah, and I'll let this roll. But you got about 20 minutes here too. But
So maybe we should stop it and do the rest later.
yeah.
Let's just go another 5 minutes, okay?
No,
Or
because
just finish this call.
no, because that's it. After the Robert Anton Wilson, you know what I'd like to do is see how this. Because what I did was put
see
it
how
on
it looks.
manual.
Okay. Yeah.
I put it on manual focus
Yeah.
because I want to just see how it focused. That would be good.
So what do you think of that? He says, I'll put someone else, give a crack at you. Rumpelstiltskin cannot be named.
That is really interesting that this developed this way. Because
What's this, from last Wednesday?
From us picking did we know Robert Anton Wilson was on that night? Before
We didn't
I
know.
called Roy?
No, we didn't know.
No, wait, Jeannie called
And told you.
that night, maybe.
I think we kind of
But
knew.
it was sort of interesting that it developed that he was on the night Roy mentioned it.
Yeah.
Which put it in his head was, shit, if this guy's claiming he's Bob Dobbs, I better tune in.
Yeah. And maybe Roy gave him a
And
tape
it's
of
just
my
too
stuff.
coincidental.
Yeah, that you hadn't have called, man, it wouldn't have happened.
But it's too coincidental that the Robert Anton Wilson fake caller calls, and the next call is the real one.
But those were the only 2 calls.
I know, but it's just... no, there's more calls that come in.
No, right at that moment he said, oh, well, there are no more calls. So they kept talking. So those were the only 2 that called in.
I know, but it's too coincidental that in my life is that it seems too much that they're connected.
Yeah, I'm aware of Tom Touché's plot. Nothing to do with the CDs. Yeah, I'm aware of Tom Touché's plot. Yeah, I'm aware of Tom Touché's plot. Nothing to do with the CDs. Yeah, I'm aware of Tom Touché's plot. Nothing to do with the CDs. Yeah, I'm aware of Tom Touché's plot. With the CDs. Yeah, I'm aware of Tom Touché's plot. Yeah, I'm aware of Tom Touché's plot. Touché's plot. Yeah, I'm aware of Tom Touché's plot.
Oh, get in here! He's trying to
I'm
be
aware of Tom
crazy.
Touché's plot. I'm aware of Tom Touché's plot. Yeah, 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 I'm aware of Tom Touché's plot.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of Tom.
You're in the hot seat.
No.
Why were you doing it? You just like the sound of it?
Yeah.
Bob gets into the hot seat.
How's that for positioning? You like being where you are?
It's hot. Do we need this light on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, it's hot, man. We should put the back window open.
Yeah, reach up and put it on.
Put it on?
We can cover the light with some.
Are you trying to measure something?
Yeah, what are we doing, Bob?
Or reviewing my performance?
Which performance, Bob?
The Tom Touché's plot. Okay?
Okay.
You ready?
Tom Touché's plot show.
I'm aware of Tom Touché's plot.
Were ripped off from my radio show and put out. I had nothing to do with the CDs. Yeah, I'm aware of Tom Touché's plot.
I want to hear the way that guy says he's going to neutralize me.
Then we could really get funny.
Well, this is a secret communique to you, Dobbs, and I hope you take it to heart. There's a plot to neutralize you.
Oh, that's
I
run by
think you need to be careful
that's run by
tonight.
Tom Touché, my ex-butler. That's why I'm on the air, because those CDs were ripped off from my radio show and put out. I had nothing to do with the CDs. Yeah, I'm aware of Tom Touché's plot.
Okay, well I'll let somebody else have a crack at you.
Yeah, okay.
Well, actually, there's no one else. So if you want to call in at 985-5735, 818 area code and speak.
Well, we certainly know the significance of me being on the air of May 29th. May Brussels' birthday, John Kennedy's birthday, and John Hinckley's birthday today. And it's interesting that Wilson and these guys have picked up that date for this day. But certainly I'm kicking it off. I'm here on this day, and the 2 callers are from Robert Anton Wilson. That should tell you something, Dr. Veeder.
Well, why are you off the air?
Bob goes off in his own little world. That should tell you something, Dr. Peter. Like a malfunctioning robot.
Yeah, like, hello, who you talking to? Tim Leary.
What?
At the end of the show, you go, yeah, Tim Leary here.
Yeah, you're talking to Tim. Yeah, whatever it is. But
You introduced yourself as Tim Leary.
yeah, you're talking to Tim Leary. But the at the end.
At the end of the show, one of the callers.
Right. Yeah. You're talking. Is that you, Bob? Yeah, you're talking to Tim Leary. But I told Rick about the gold deal and how Dr. Peter goes, that should tell you something. No, that should tell you something. What is it? That should tell you something. Bob? I don't know if he says Bob. That should tell you something. And I go, certainly does, Dr. Peter. So that was like for Rick or for other people who know the story.